All right, everybody. Good afternoon. It's the Fantasy Sports Boss. Welcome to Fantasy Football Live. It is Waiver Wire Tuesday. If you're new to the channel, of course, like I always say at the start of every show, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the notification button because, like today, impromptu, I literally just scheduled the stream. And if you had the notification button hit, then you would have been notified that I'm going live. Because a lot of times, schedule permitting, I can't schedule a stream in advance. So I jump on it, whenever I can, like today. And if you had that notification button hit, then you would have been able to know that we were going on. So as far as today is concerned, and again, that's why you have that notification button hit, because when I do an impromptu stream like this, then you know when these streams begin. But today I want to talk about the Ken Dorsey firing. Clearly the Bills' offense is completely broken, and not shocked that Dorsey wound up getting fired. And we're going to talk about the fantasy ramifications of that, plus the injury update and Waiver Wire Tuesday. Going to go over all the prime players that I think you should pick up. For week 11. Week 11. Like, I can't even believe it's week 11. Just unbelievable. Michael Carter was released. I just saw that before I came on, which is surprising to me. Listen, Dalvin Cook is a completely done as a player. So I'm shocked they didn't release him as opposed to Michael Carter. But you know what? Robert Saleh is going to get fired at the end of this year. I just don't think that he's up to the task of being the Jets head coach. So that was a puzzling move for sure. Hey, everybody. Everybody's jumping in now. Sorry for that impromptu last-minute stream. Trade Lamar and Aaron Jones for Hurts. Yeah, I would do that, Robert. I definitely would. Do I give up Jacobs to get DJ Moore and Walker? No, that I wouldn't do because I don't like DJ Moore the rest of the way. And then, wow, you got a lot of deals, Robert. Trade Aaron Jones and Ridley to get Jonathan Taylor. I would do that as well because I just don't like the way the Packers offense is playing. And Ridley obviously is not doing the job. It should be preseason. But let's talk about the Ken Dorsey situation. So, and this is very surprising because now the Bills are 5-5, and you don't often see coordinators fired in the middle of a season like this. It's clearly anybody that watched the game yesterday could see that the offense looked completely broken. And not all the blame goes to Dorsey. I mean, Josh Allen continues his undisciplined play, and even last season he was very careless with the football. The Brett Favre comparison works there because Favre, as great as he was, and he was an all-time great, he didn't protect the football, and he was overconfident in his arm. Josh Allen has that as well. The offense looks completely disjointed, and the fact that they've introduced Dalton Kincaid, who's absolutely killing it since moving into the starting lineup, it makes it even more surprising that the offense is struggling the way it is. So now, what does this mean going forward? Like I said, I don't like the fact that they're making changes in the middle of the season. This is no doubt going to have a negative effect on the offense, at least short term. And not only that, but Allen faces his kryptonite New York Jets, a team by far that he has played the worst against of anybody in the NFL. He was awful week one. I mean, he was giving the ball away all over the place week one against the Jets, and they lost that game in overtime. I would not be surprised if they lose this game as well. Despite how bad the Jets offense looks, no touchdown passes in 5 straight games. The Jet defense is so much better than the Bills defense that I can totally see that happening. It could hurt Kincaid. But I think Kincaid is the real deal. I think he's shown it. So I'm not as concerned about him. I am concerned, though, about Josh Allen. I'm a Josh Allen owner. Luckily, I did not need his performance last night to win. I was already had the victory. And I actually got top score in both of my leagues last week. It was one of my best weeks ever in fantasy. Both of my leagues totally killed it, got top score. So I pocketed $20. And I suggest next year, guys, make sure you add that dynamic to your league because it makes it fun. Like if you already blew out your opponent, the secondary matchup is getting the high score, right? So me and another high score guy went into last night within a few points of each other. So it made that game exciting, whereas I had already blown out my opponent, so did he. So it adds another dimension to it. And it just gives you another avenue to earn some money throughout the course of the season. Got an offer for Sun God for Diggs, turned it down. But did I do right? Go for some guy for Diggs. I prefer Amon Ra over Diggs, Chris. I spent the 8th overall pick on him, and I'm 8-2. So I was not going to be denied in terms of getting my hands on St. Brown this year, and he's been unbelievable. And I think he's got more fantasy points than Stephon Diggs. But yeah, I mean, it's really close. I mean, those two guys, CeeDee Lamb, they've been the best in football. Start 2. Wow, we're doing lineups already, huh? On Tuesday, Dill Jeezy. Keaton, DJ Moore, and Ridley. I'm not in on Keaton Mitchell yet. He barely touched the football. He made the most of his opportunities, week 10, but he's not touching the football a lot. And you still have Gus Edwards getting the goal line. Justice Hill, who scored, but it was brought back on a penalty, is still involved as well. He said he'll use him more, and he should, right? But that's a projection. I think Justin Fields is back this week, so DJ Moore will get more involved, and they had a good thing going before Fields got hurt. Ridley, if you want to substitute more Keaton Mitchell, I keep saying more Keaton Mitchell for Ridley, you could, but I definitely would start DJ Moore if Fields is playing. I got to score my league. Nice. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it adds a nice dimension to it, to the league. Hey, Boozy, how are you? Now, let's get to the waiver wire for this week. So, as far as quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, 46% owned. And I start with the quarterbacks with the understanding that Josh Dobbs is already picked up in your league. If he's not, he's by far the number one quarterback to pick up off waivers. Like, it's just crazy what this guy is doing this season. We've been over it a million times. No need to go into it again. Hey, SC, thank you. I appreciate that. What Josh Dobbs is doing is like fairy tale stuff. Like, that's how good it's been. Like, unbelievable. Now, Russell Wilson, they're playing better. Like, how about the fact that the Broncos go from giving up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins to now, in the last few weeks, shutting down the Kansas City Chiefs offense and shutting down the Buffalo Bills offense? I said it on the stream yesterday. This team is coming around now. Sean Payton is getting the Broncos where he wants them. Russell Wilson is playing well. He's making good decisions. Javonte Williams, the rust is off. Cortland Sutton, like Jerry Jeudy's a lost cause, but Cortland Sutton playing really well as well. He's scoring a lot of touchdowns. That's always what, and I thought Cortland Sutton was fading. I was out on him this year, so I was wrong about that. He's playing really well, and he's always had a nose for the end zone. And I really like what we're seeing out of him. Jordan Love, listen, this is only if you're desperate. He's 41% right now. He gets the Chargers, who absolutely got torched by Jared Goff. I'm not overly impressed with Jordan Love. And listen, when he came out of college at Utah State, the knock on him was lack of accuracy. Well, we've seen that. He's barely completing more than 50% of his throws. And he has a vast array of weapons. Like, I mean, say what you want about the inconsistency about Christian Watson, but he's got good athletes on this team. Romeo Dobbs. He's got Jaden Reed. We've got Luke Musgrave, who I think is getting more and more comfortable. I think he's got a decent finish. It's Love is just not getting the job done. Now, has he shown enough to be given another opportunity next year? I don't know, but we'll have to see. Now, the real strength of waiver wire week 11 is in the running backs. All right, so we have a lot of running backs that are, basically I have 3 backs as the top 3 guys off waivers this week. Now, Keaton Mitchell, 46% owned, so he is still under that 50% threshold. 12 carries last 2 weeks. It's hard to start him because he's not touching the ball a lot. He's doing his Devin Achane impersonation. Remember, that's who I compared him to, and it's been spot on. Like, he is a home run hitter no matter where he touches the football. If he gets even a little bit of daylight, he's going the distance. But you have Gus Edwards. You have Justice Hill. You have Lamar Jackson, who may not be running as much, especially around the goal line, but he's still a thing running the football. So that is a lot of competition and makes me leery about spending too much on Keaton Mitchell. I much prefer to have Devin Singletary, who's right at about 50%, 150 yards, 30 rushes. Even if Dameon Pierce comes back, this is Devin Singletary's team now. And we saw him in Buffalo. Solid, not spectacular, but this entire Texans offense. And here's another thing. We talked about the struggles of the Texans offensive line all season, and we used that as an alibi for Dameon Pierce. Well, that same offensive line, maybe even worse because they've had injuries, is blocking for Devin Singletary, who ran for 150 yards. So that argument for Dameon Pierce kind of goes by the wayside. And it makes you feel a little bit better about investing in Devin Singletary, who's my number one running back waiver wire ad this week. Ty Chandler, 9% owned. Alexander Madison is not going to play. He had obviously dealing with a concussion. They signed Myles Gaskin for the second time. And here's the thing, too, why I like Ty Chandler. And he wasn't great spelling him last week. He did score a touchdown. But Madison wasn't playing well. Like, it was all workload related in terms of the numbers. Like, he had a decent amount of catches. The yardage was just okay. Wasn't cashing in around the goal line, at least on the ground. He wasn't playing well. So if Ty Chandler can come in this week and have a big game, then I think he has a chance to literally run with the gig. So he's number 2 in my running back waiver order. Keaton Mitchell is number 3 for me. And you might be thinking, oh, wow, Keaton Mitchell is so good. But again, that's all about competition there. So that's why I'm a little leery about that. But those 3 guys. And then you have Darrell Henderson, who coming off a bye is available probably in more leagues than you would anticipate. The timeshare there as well, but he's getting involved in the passing game. Matthew Stafford will be back this week. And in case you're trying to buy low on Cooper Kupp, you have like a very limited amount of time left to do so. Kyron Williams does come back after this week, though. So let's not go crazy with Darrell Henderson. Tough decision to have Laporta. Do we flex Ty Chandler or McBride? Definitely McBride. And we're going to get to McBride. I'm going to talk about him soon, Chris. McBride looks like he could be a league winner the rest of the way. Now, wide receivers, Brandon Cooks. I mean, listen, 9 for 173 in the score. Everything broke right. You knew it was going to happen against the Giants defense, which is just comically inept. Like, it's just as bad as can be. And no surprise about any of what we saw from Dallas, with the exception of Tony Pollard looking like shit. And not for nothing, Rico Dowdle, I forgot to mention him. He needs to be picked up. Like, we already know Tajay Spears. I say it every week with Tajay Spears. You know you got to pick him up. But Rico Dowdle, who scored a rushing touchdown last week and looks so much better, so much more explosive than Tony Pollard, that he could be pushing for a 60-40 split. Dare I say 50-50 if this keeps up. And again, Tony Pollard doesn't look like he's 100% healthy to me. Maybe the injury is still bothering him. I don't know. There is no obvious answer to why he's playing so poorly. I know the offensive line is aging, but they've been giving Dak Prescott plenty of time to throw the football all over the lot. So there's only so much blame you can give the offensive line. Now, Brandon Cooks, he's been all over the league. Bad year last year, but I think he just kind of checked out mentally. Slow start to his career with Dallas, but that's because Mike McCarthy was favoring the run game. Now that it's all about the passing game, Cooks is starting to cook, literally. He is a instant separation guy. Brandon Cooks has always been an instant separation guy, and he's got great deep speed. So he can break quickly off the line of scrimmage, get into his route, get instant separation like the Deontay Johnson, but he can get down the field with speed that like Deontay doesn't have. So Cooks, to me, this offense is completely clicked in. He is a one of the more priority ads this week. And then you have Noah Brown, who's at 26%. Listen, Robert Woods is getting pushed down the depth chart now. Even if Woods, plays this week, Noah Brown has done way too much. He was on for 73% of the passing plays this week, 21% target share, like just crazy stuff. And Dallas Cowboys have to be wondering. Now, Dallas, obviously they have plenty of their own, but they're probably saying to themselves, like how is this guy, doing this when he really didn't show any of that with us? But Noah Brown needs to be picked up. He was the pickup of the week, 172 yards on 7 catches. And we all know about CJ Stroud is propping every single person up in this offense, including Noah Brown. We start Fields or Murray this week. Definitely Murray, 100%. I don't trust Justin Fields at all, especially off a long layoff. DJ and Fields. I would prefer to move away from the Bears if you can. Now, if it's between Ridley and DJ Moore, then I would go DJ Moore. Rice or Cooks. Rashee Rice is scoring almost every game, even though the target share it's been frustratingly below where you want it. Um, yeah, I'd have to give Cooks another try this week. Demario Douglas. So Demario Douglas, the Patriots, a lot has gone wrong for the Patriots offensively this season, but Demario Douglas has been one thing that's really turned out nicely. He played well last week against the Colts. He's got good speed, good athleticism. The cupboard is very bare there. Now, whether it's going to be Mac Jones or more likely Bailey Zappi, either way, both of these guys stink. They're going to have to get a quarterback. And here's the thing, guys. I thought about this today. The Giants and Patriots are going right now. The Giants have the number 2 pick in the draft. And to me, you have the top 2 quarterbacks, Drake May and Caleb Williams. And I still think they can go in any order, even though Caleb Williams has been anointed as the guy going number 1. I truly believe Caleb May can go number 1. When the Pats play the Giants, like does Bill Belichick, here's what's fascinating. If Belichick knows he's already out the door, he's going to want to win this game to screw the Patriots for one. And, hey, don't give them the quarterback. I'm leaving. Well, I don't want them to get the quarterback. I'm going to beat the Giants, make sure the Giants, who he still reveres. Anytime Bill Belichick gives an interview about the Giants, his time at the Giants, he gets like emotional. This guy who doesn't show any emotion. If you see a documentary with him talking about the Giants, he gets very misty-eyed. He loved his time at the Giants. As a matter of fact, he almost went to the Giants as a coach many years ago when he was fired by the Browns. But I could totally see that happening. So the Patriots and the Giants are going to be in direct competition for that number 1 pick. Also, the Chicago Bears, they have Carolina's pick. So that's a factor. So we got to see what happens there. Lamar's killing me. Have Murray on the bench. Can't bring myself to. Yeah, I think this is a good spot for him. The Bengals defense is not scaring anybody. It's going to be a high-scoring game. This is a week where we push our chips to the middle of the table with Lamar, and I can't even believe I'm saying that we're even having a debate about benching Lamar Jackson is amazing to me, but this is a get-right spot. Now, we said that with Tony Pollard with the Giants. It didn't happen, so that now has me squarely moving away from Tony Pollard. We did that with Calvin Ridley. Did not happen. I'm moving away from Calvin Ridley. We did this with Chris Olave a few weeks ago. It did happen, and he's back in the good graces. So this is the week for Lamar Jackson. Has to show it now. My friend offered me Nico Collins, Herbert, and Thielen for Robinson and Chuba Hubbard. What? Yeah, I would do that in a second, Mike. Chuba Hubbard is nothing. Brian Robinson's good, but Herbert played really well before he got hurt. Collins in this offense, you want as many pieces of this Texans offense as you can. And Thielen, it's been a little quiet the last few weeks, but he was a wide receiver 1 the majority of the season. Start Herbert or Purdy. The thing with the Chargers is, when they get in these shootouts, that's when you get these massive Herbert performances. I still would prefer Herbert because he runs a little bit, has more, I think the 49ers defense gives it a better game script for Purdy and puts them in a position where maybe they run the football more in the second half, whereas the Chargers defense is so bad that Herbert's got to throw a lot. Just traded Pacheco, McLaurin, Kincaid for Kelsey and Foreman. I gave up a lot, Tony. I love Kelsey, but the other two haven't played for you. If they haven't played for you, I guess it's okay. But Kincaid's been really good. But you definitely gave up a lot. Is this Bill's curse due to Josh Allen, Madden cover? Yeah, right. Maybe. Who knows? Anybody see that meme too? The 2024 Madden cover is Taylor Swift. I thought that was pretty funny. I like that one. I thought that was good. Benching Jackson, CJ Stroud. No, not a bad move. Listen. The results totally speak for themselves. Jalen Guyton, 1% owned, massive injuries on the Chargers offense. Keenan Allen's banged up. He's going to play. Gerald Everett's banged up. He looks like he'll be there. Josh Palmer's on IR. Mike Williams out for the season. Jalen Guyton, has shown flashes before, whereas Quentin Johnson is still finding his way. I think he's somebody that you should pick up as well. Say high-scoring game is who really want to put Keaton in. Yeah, he's going to get his chances, but I don't like going with guys who, if they don't make good on their 4, 5, 6 touches, then it's a complete abomination of an outing. Like, I don't want that pressure. I've always been about the workload over the the home run ability on limited touches. Top waiver priority, also Dotson sucked. Yeah, Dotson was bad. So top waiver priority. Well, I mean, I think Singletary and Ty Chandler, those are the top guys. Elijah Moore, if you want to pick up Elijah Moore, he's still there. Brown's offense is playing better. All right, sorry, the bits dropped a little bit on the stream. Sorry about that, guys. Hurts and Ridley or Lamar and DJ Moore. I'd rather have Hurts and Ridley. Hurts absolutely is 28 to 32 points every week. Jerome Ford's value, offered Godwin for him. Yeah, that's fair, John. I mean, Ford is a running back too. That's it. He's not getting goal line, but he catches the ball. He's got home run ability, so I trust him as a running back too. Laporta or Kincaid? I got to go Kincaid. I really like the way he's playing. And Laporta, it's quieted down a little bit of late. Trying to sell Walker ASAP. Any suggestions? Yeah, I don't trust him. I don't trust he could stay healthy. I mean, if you're looking for a running back, who do I like better in that area? I like, Pacheco, Montgomery, James Conner, those guys. Pollard or Pacheco? Listen, you got to go Pacheco. Amazing that we're even talking about that. Kincaid or McBride? I do like McBride. So let's talk about McBride. If he's under 50% last I checked, which is just crazy to me, he is a league-winning tight end the rest of the way. Even if Zach Ertz comes back, he's not getting his job back. Like Trey McBride, who is a wide receiver in a tight end's body, has been absolutely insane 2 of the last 3 weeks. You throw out the Clayton Tune game because nobody did anything there. The other 2 games as a starter, he has been unreal. He's the real deal. And I said this yesterday. There is Travis Kelce light ability here with Trey McBride. And it's not hyperbole. He has that speed, the route running, everything, the total athletic package. Caught 90 passes his final year in college, which is insane considering they don't play as many games. Excuse me. I am Trey McBride all the way. I have him in both of my leagues. I'm starting him as a flex in my work league. That's how much I like him. Rest of season 49ers or Browns. Wow, the 49ers defense is scary. I'm going to have to say the 49ers. Achane, yeah, I'm very curious about this. We have Jeff Wilson's back, and Raheem Mostert's having another great season. Obviously, an injury to Mostert, and he's no stranger to that, changes the whole dynamic to Achane. But scoring once every 6 times he touches the football, like he did before he got hurt, is not going to happen again. It's funny. Achane was involved in a deal in both of my leagues in the last 2 days. Now, trade deadline in both of my leagues is Saturday. So people are getting those last minute moves in. And you know what? In my work league, I'm kind of stuck. I have Josh Allen, but I have Murray and Sam Howell. I thought I was going to be able to find a taker for one of those two, Murray or Howell, and I haven't so far. So, I thought something would manifest. Drop Stafford for Howell. Oh my God, 100%. Listen, guys, Sam Howell is a top 10 fantasy quarterback this year. Look at those numbers. Every week he's 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he can run a little bit. Takes a lot of sacks, sometimes throws some bad balls, lead to turnovers. But I'm telling you, this guy is the real deal. He's got ice in his veins. He's really, really good. Is Murray and Hollywood going to connect? They should. I mean, it looked like that Kincaid had developed something with Murray when Murray was rehabbing. And but Marquise Brown, his old college teammate, all we have to do is check last season how good he was. The first half of the year while DeAndre Hopkins was suspended. You got to keep putting Kincaid out there until it cools off, if it does cool off. Trade Kincaid for McBride. I don't think you have to do that. I'd rather have Josh Allen throwing to my tight end than McBride. That's how I would look at it. Thoughts on Panthers? Yeah, listen, it's been bad. I did like Bryce Young, but the one caveat was his size. I mean, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson played really well at that size. It's not working right now. And CJ Stroud playing as well as he has been is really concerning if you are the Carolina front office. Like CJ Stroud looks like one of the best. This is one of the best rookie performances I have ever seen from a rookie quarterback. So, this is something that is hard to ignore. If you're a Carolina fan, Bryce Young's not playing well. And this is a guy who was insanely productive in college. And, it's disappointing so far to see what's going on. Do we get Jefferson back? Yes, he's coming back this week. How do you go about trades in your leagues? You guys voted. No, we put it through in both leagues. I think vetoing a trade is in bad form. I've always been with that. And if there is a collusion going on, now I'm in a friends and family league and a work league. We've never had a collusion issue, thankfully. If you have one, then you need to find a new league or you throw that person out. It is not for me to say this, how do you make this trade? Because a lot of times initial reactions to trades, you look back on it at the end of the year and it went the other way, right? I have made trades this year where instantly it looked like I was robbing the guy. And now on the back end, I got screwed. You have to trust that the two people made their trade for a reason. All right. And that's it. If you veto it, a lot of times people veto because they're selfish. They're thinking about, oh, how is this going to affect me? This team is stacked now because somebody's going to win a trade. No trade can be too even. So it's impossible to grade trades that way. And you can't reflexively say, oh, this is going to hurt me. I'm going to veto it. No, that's garbage. I never veto trades. Stroud impressed more than former MVP Mahomes this year. He's been better than Mahomes this year. I'm sorry, but he has. Like, this is a historical season. Now, I'm not saying he's a better player. Gosh, no. But Stroud is really, this is crazy how good he's been. Steelers, Chiefs, or Broncos defense this week. Chiefs defense is playing really well. Joe, I have to admit, I haven't really looked that closely at the schedule this week. So let me see. NFL scores. I don't recall off the top of my head who Kansas City is playing. Let me just look real quick. So Kansas City is playing. Where the hell are they? Oh, Philadelphia. Yeah, I'm not playing for Kansas City. No, definitely not. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's playing Cleveland. Deshaun Watson's playing better. And then who's the other one? The Broncos. They're playing really well. How about that against the Vikings? Josh Dobbs. Jefferson's coming back. I'm going to have to say the Steelers because Watson gets flustered sometimes. So I'm going to have to go with the Steelers. Would you stack J. Dobbs, JD? Oh, maybe not Chandler, but those first two, yes. Rice coming off a bye. I still like Rashee Rice. But Andy Reid's been very stubborn with him so far. Thank you. I got it back to work. I'm on lunch. Love the advice. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yes, Hawaii. That's right. I forgot SC's from Hawaii. Mahalo. Yes, absolutely, man. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ridley against Tennessee this week. So, I'm nervous about it, but that is the one team that you beat that way through the past. So, Ridley at least has a shot to post a better week this week. All right, guys, I got to jump up a little early today. So short stream today, but I did want to jump in and do this Waiver Wire Tuesday. So I'm going to jump out now. Stream. I'm not sure about a stream tomorrow. One of my kids has a concert. Not for nothing. Like, anybody here that has kids, like the winter concerts, like they're really cute and fun when they're like really young, like kindergarten, first grade, even through like sixth grade. But when it gets to like high school, it's like, oh, God, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, and I know that might sound harsh, but especially if you have multiple kids, you go to all these concerts. It's like, oh man, I gotta, and it's not, I love to see my kids, their performances. But then you got to sit through all the other grades. It's just like, get me the hell out of here, right? Like that's just and I live in a kind of a bougie area that people just think their shit don't stink, and it's just annoying. Fighting over seats, and just I'm over it. So like I the concert years when your kids get older can tend to really just you want to rip your eyes out sometimes and just close your ears. I'm sorry, it's true. All right, should I grab Spears? Yeah, you always grab Spears if you have Henry Plumsky, 100%. So anyway, that was my rant of the day. So guys, enjoy your day. Appreciate you tuning in, and we will chat tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Have a good evening.